Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nadine Lee. I am a teacher of the feminine tantric arts and an international best-selling author of the book Sex Priestess. And in today's episode, I am going to be talking about something that has kind of been in the collective field for the past couple of weeks now, maybe longer. And I've just been kind of sitting with it and waiting for the right time to share my thoughts, perspective, commentaries on this specific topic. So, 2 weeks ago, maybe more actually, maybe 4 weeks ago, it was just before Christmas, I learnt about these two women specifically who are OnlyFans content creators. And kind of in the industry of adult entertainment, Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue. And how I kind of came to find out about this was through YouTube, actually. It just popped up on my feed, and it's probably popped up on your feed because it's a big topic right now. It's kind of gone pretty viral because of, I think, the shock factor is a big part of it. And they're getting a lot of coverage, specifically Lily Phillips. So that's how I kind of found out about this thing that's going on. So basically, this woman she's a 23-year-old woman from the UK who has an OnlyFans, and she just had a documentary made about her where she slept with 100 men in a day and filmed that content for her OnlyFans, and she's making like up to, I think, like $500,000 a month, or £500,000 a month. So, you know, it's causing a lot of attention to be spotlighted because of obviously the money that's being made and because of like how outrageous this thing is that she's doing. And now she's trying to do 1,000 in a day, coming up, I think, in February. And one of her co-stars, Bonnie Blue, is also from the UK. She lived in Australia for a bit, and she's been doing things with, she calls it barely legals. So guys that are basically barely legal, like 18-year-old boys, essentially, taking them, like inviting a group of guys. She goes to schoolies and these like spring break type situations and football games and tells the guys, hey, I'm going to be at this location. You can come and have sex with me. And she films it, but it's only for, 18-year-olds. So for her, it's more about like, the barely legal uh, people calling her a predator type situation. So she's also making, up to £500,000 a month with the OnlyFans. So yeah, so these two women have come into my field, and I've just been like observing, watching some things about them, and really wanted to bring some commentary from my perspective, being, a tantric teacher, a tantric practitioner, the author of Sex Priestess, and, my understanding of this field and the understanding of sexual energy and how powerful it is, and the role of the woman to really initiate the man into these realms of eros and love. And wow, there's so much to unpack with this. But firstly, I want to speak about, so both of them share the intention to educate these guys through their content and through actually having sex with up to 100 guys in a day. And although the intention seems to be there, like to educate these guys, I don't actually think that they are educating them in a way that's elevating and actually taking that man into, his highest masculine potential and actually leaving him as a better lover as a result after. So the reason I say this is I've seen things like, you can come all over me, you can come wherever you want. It's all about your pleasure. I'm here to just pleasure you. Like, this is what they're saying. I'm just a cum machine, like just come all over me. That in itself just seems like perpetuating like this idea that men can just use you as a cum disposable machine, a cum disposer, and disrespect you as the woman, essentially. You know, it's not about you, it's not about pleasing you, it's just about their pleasure, and you're just basically, it could be anyone lying there. You're basically just a hole that they're getting off inside of and all over. And so I don't really see that as educating and initiating this man into his ultimate sexual potential, you know, because these guys, especially the 18-year-olds, that a lot of them are virgins. So that's going to be their first sexual experience. And they're going to think, okay, this is what women want. They just want to be fucked, come all over, and just left, you know, like no aftercare, no human interaction, no heart, no soul, just two physical bodies getting off, basically. Well, it's really just him getting off and using the woman. So that guy is now going to go forward, you know, and treat every other woman in that way, essentially, because that first sexual imprint from these women is really the imprint that they're going to have and take with them. And you know, I feel sorry for the woman that comes after these, that comes after, you know, that have for these men. There's going to be a lot of damage control that needs to be done, essentially. So, you know, I wouldn't exactly say that this is educating these men in a way that is really taking them into becoming an actual amazing lover to their, you know, potential future wife, future partners. It's one thing just like having a one night stand, but even that, you know, you can do it with some dignity and like have some heart involved and um, not just like a 5 minute quickie thing. Because, you know, the woman that's doing the Lily Phillips, it's like 100 men in a day. I think it was each guy got 3 to 5 minutes max with her because it was kind of like a conveyor belt. She described it as a conveyor belt. So even that, it's like, you know, he's not exactly like connecting with this woman at all. It's just basically penetrate, get out, come, penetrate, come, get out. Like there's no connecting human to human, heart to heart. So yeah, I feel it's, you know, it's really taking these men into like all of the porn industry at only, I mean, not all OnlyFans, but like a lot of the porn, it really is just taking men into this, keeping them in their lowest vibrational density of lust. And as we know from a tantric perspective, when you're just stuck in the low density lust, just hedonistic, just getting off base level fucking, essentially, it keeps you enslaved to your sexuality as a man. And also to perpetually, you know, the women always talk about like they want you to come, they want you to come, you know, all over their face, all over them. So draining you of your life force energy as a man is another aspect to this. Like keeping you in this, you know, state of just leaking sexual energy constantly, just like letting it out of your body, not learning how to actually contain that energy and use it for, you know, things like full body orgasms, which, you know, once you've experienced that as a man and a woman, you'll never go back to a genital sneeze or a 5 minute quickie with, you know, some OnlyFans chick. So, you know, these things are not possible if you're being educated by these sort of women. And so this is where really myself and women who teach more of this like elevated sexuality, Tantra, comes in. So the tantric path really is not about denying your primal dark body, that dark masculine energy and that primal sexuality. It's not about denying that at all, but it's like, okay, let's meet here. Let's like play in that, but it's got to go somewhere beyond just keeping you in that base for the rest of your life. And you become a slave to your ejaculation, you become a slave to the next hit, slave to your addictions, you know, this this over ejaculation, addiction to ejaculation, I believe really is the core of so much addiction in men, addiction to, the vaping, the cigarettes, um, porn, like all the things. It's not having mastery over your sexuality. It affects your entire life. So I really believe that, yes, men need education around this, but turning to these OnlyFans girls, these two specifically, it's not really going to be like the education that is going to actually create a better man out of you, better relationships with women in the long run, and better relationships to yourself and your sexuality. So I really believe that men learn the art of the lover archetype through the priestess, through woman. So these women could be initiating you into that lover archetype if they were integrating tantric practice and more evolved consciousness, but they're not. So I mean, if you're watching this, Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, if you want to become a client of mine, I can actually teach you how to like do what you're doing. If you want to keep doing what you're doing, but actually bring in some techniques and tools that actually can take your men that you're pleasuring to the next level. Do it in a way that actually elevates them, leaves them like, an evolved man, a conscious man, not just this like low, low vibration, like just unevolved, regressed man. You're destroying these men essentially. Women have the capacity to do that. And so men have to come to the woman on their path. They seek this out. This is what, men have always come to me for in the ways that I've worked with men over the years in the different iterations. Um, and they come to the woman to learn how to be with woman, how to love woman, how to make love to woman. This has been going on for centuries, from the beginning of time, like the even in Mary Magdalene was a part of the cult of Isis, the Egyptian cult of Isis, who were women who were highly trained sex priestesses, tantrikas, who were working with sexual alchemy, and they would serve the men and the women of the community in supporting that alchemy of sexual energy and using it for elevating yourself, elevating into higher states of consciousness. So this has been happening for forever. I wrote all about this in my book, Sex Priestess, and it's been my path. And I believe men have to come to a woman to learn this specific archetype, the lover archetype. Usually men would come to these women as a teenage boy, and usually around like the age of 14, and they would not be having sex with the woman, but they would spend many years with a woman, usually about 10 to 15 years older, and she would kind of like guide him into basics of like, breathing, meditation, like fundamental practices to, cultivate his energy. And then once he was, in like consensual age or whatever, then they would start to work with sexual energy practices. So, but it was elevated, it wasn't just like what we're seeing right now. So this is what I am so passionate about. And I have a lot of offerings for men. I have two courses online called Sex God and Sexual Alchemy for Men. They're pre-recorded courses. And then I have a course coming up, a live 3-day course that I'm hosting with my sister and also international sacred sexual healer, Kelsey B. We're joining forces. We just spent a month in Thailand in Mantak Chia's Tao Garden, immersing in the Tao Tantric arts together. And we have a combined 20 years experience of working with both men and women in the realms of Tantra and erotic arts. So we're combining forces, and we're offering a 3-day immersion starting 31st of Jan until the 2nd of Feb for men only. And it's called Initiating Her. So you're going to be learning how to master your sexual energy and elevate her pleasure, which is what elevates you. So we are going to take you on a really deep 3-day dive. So 3 live sessions, but each session will be 2 hours. You'll get the recordings for lifetime, so you can like join live or you can just watch the replays. It's up to you, regardless of what time zone you're in. So this is an invitation for you to join us and yeah, like let's take what's happening and let's go to the next level because the men that come into my field, they're hungry to learn, like actually learn, these practices. So I'm speaking to you guys, like the guys that are actually really wanting to master their sexual energy, become the best lover that she's ever had, really unlock this lover archetype, master your dark masculine, integrate that dark masculine with your light masculine. So, connecting sex and heart together, healing your relationship to the feminine, and yeah, just becoming like that next level lover and superhuman that comes from when you've mastered your sexual energy. This is the tantric path. So I would love to invite some of you guys into this. We have the early bird's going to be ending in a week. So I'm going to link the link to initiating her below and the other 2 courses if you want to do those. And yeah, send me a message on Instagram or reply to this, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this. I would love to hear, where you're at, any comments, any reflections, any questions, pop it below or send me a DM over on Instagram, Nadine Lee Official. Okay, sending so much love and I will see you all soon.